The residential design category recognizes works of landscape architecture for residential use that exhibit distinction in design, function, context, and environmental responsibility. Receiving honor awards in residential design are Metamorphose, a Corten seawall sculpture and foreshore enhancement, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, by Paul Sanghut Landscape Architecture. The jury was struck by the surprising, distinctively counterintuitive take on a utilitarian form, the seawall. One juror noted, "We are desperate for forms that speak to the 21st century rather than rerun old ideas. A sculptural approach may be a better way than what's right up the street." Refreshing was a broadly shared reaction, despite unanswered questions about performance. 300 Ivy, San Francisco, for Pocket Development by Fletcher Studio. This project is a good example of resolving the smaller apartments and larger shared spaces people increasingly inhabit. Spaces that you wouldn't think could provide relief with views are handled in ways that work throughout the building. Thanks to an economy of means, impressive mileage is made in discrete areas nicely woven together, the jury agreed. Massart Residence Hall, Boston, for the Massachusetts College of Art and Design and Massachusetts State College Building Authority by Ground. This category should offer more than a beauty contest for private residences, said the jury. Instead, this plan thrives despite the constraints of a public institution budget. The students who live in the tower are treated to a special view as they look down to the landscape below, which one juror described in one word, fun. Flying Point Residence, Southampton, New York, by Edmund Hollander Landscape Architects. Given the sensitivity of a site hugging the shifting sands of an ocean beach, it takes great creativity and imagination to know what not to do. The landscape architect responds appropriately with minimal gestures that have an impressive impact. Invasive species are removed, and native beach plum, bayberry, and grasses are restored. Just a beautiful thing, enthused one juror. Mill Creek Ranch, Vanderpool, Texas, by Tenike Landscape Architects. Really gutsy, said one juror. Facets of a complex site are nicely integrated without calling undue attention to the hand of the landscape architect. There's a diversity of microspaces cleverly nested in various places. A key feature of this semi-arid site is the way water is handled. It looks like it belongs there. The design reads as authentic. Sweetwater Spectrum Residential Community for Adults with Autism Spectrum Disorders, Sonoma, California, for Sweetwater Spectrum by Roach and Roach Landscape Architecture. Most outstanding in this carefully researched approach is an admirable sensitivity to the specific ways the autistic population responds to its surroundings. For example, those with autism are typically put off by large places. There are none here. Nor is there a mawkish, cheery narrative. Instead, this straightforward, good design for underserved people reminds us all how too rare this is. Brooklyn Oasis, Brooklyn, New York, by Michael Van Valkenburg Associates. Simple and not heavy-handed, this is a creative use of a small space, jurors agreed. It responds to the movement to and need for high-density living in our increasingly urban world. The project feels like the residents themselves figured out the design to suit their needs, added one juror. Receiving the Award of Excellence in Residential Design is Cedar Creek, Trinidad, Texas, by Hockard Design Group. The craft of this project deserves praise. In a word, it is beautiful. Building and site are infused with the same spirit. The pine trees look like objects that are being shown off and echo the columns of the structure. The cantilevered roof, the columns, and the trees on either side make for an exceptionally strong and integrated composition. Impeccably detailed, there is nothing in this landscape that does not need to be here.